Hey, so today's game is called Shut the Box, and it uses two dice and then cards numbers 1 through 9. I grabbed our Uno cards and I pulled out just a random 1 through 9. You could do that with Uno cards or face in cards or regular playing cards if you wanted to. So for this game, it's called Shut the Box, and there's a couple different ways to play. So I'll show you the basic way first, and then I'll show you a more advanced way to play with older kids here in just a second. So essentially what you do is for the basic way, you're going to take the dice and roll them, and you add the two numbers together. So I got a 5 and a 1, so that makes 6. So I put cards down, face down, that equals 6. Um, but I have to choose the combination that I want to use. So I could just flip the number 6 down, or I could choose the 1 and the 5 and flip those down, or the 2 and the 4 and flip those down. I could do the 1, the 2, and the 3 because all three of those put together equals 6. So as long as I can make 6, I can flip them down. For the basic way, you don't use subtraction, so you would not do like a 7 and a 1 makes 6, but that is a variation that you could play on the game if you choose to. So with my 6, maybe I flip the 1 and the 5. Now, because I was able to flip cards face down, I get to keep going on my turn. Oh, this time I rolled 1 and 1, which means the only option I have is to flip the 2. I'll flip that one down. And now I have 6 and 3. So any combination to make 9, I still have a 6. I have 6 and 3 left, or I have the 9. I'm going to go ahead and get 9. If at any point in time you have all three of the high numbers, so 7, 8, and 9, if you have any of those, if you have all three of those flipped down, then you can stop rolling 2 dice and switch to 1 dice if you choose. That's an option that you have if you have all three of those face down. So we just keep going. This time I got 4 and 2 is 6. My only option is to flip the 6 down. And you keep going until you cannot flip a card over. So this time I have 3 and 3, that's 6. There's no way for me to make 6. I do have a 3, but since I don't have another 3, I cannot flip that over. So my turn is over, and my score is all of the face-up cards added together. So this is great practice for some mental math and some strategies here. So for me, I'm going to say 8 and a 7 is 15, and then 15 plus 4 more is 19, plus 3 more is 22, so I have a score of 22. And this would be a good time to point out if you see some combinations of 10, so you could, before your child starts adding their score, you could say, do you have anything that equals 10? So a good place to start maybe to do 7 and 3 makes 10, plus 8 more would be 18, and then 4 more would be 22. That's good practice of using some flexible thinking and some strategic thinking, so you're not always starting with the low numbers and counting up, or not always starting with the high numbers and counting, but you're really using some of those easy addition strategies that the kids have learned in school. So I have a score of 22. My turn is over. So then you would flip all the cards back up, pass the dice to the next player, and they take their turn. So then they go until they can't flip any cards. They get a score, and you're done with round 1. Round 2 is played the exact same way. You roll the dice, you flip the cards, whatever you get, you add on to your total. So at the end of this game, if I were to have just the 9 and the 1 left over, then I would add 10 more points to my 22 to have a score of 32. The game plays best if you play to kicking players out when they hit the score of 45, but you could come up with different end game options. You could play for a certain time or a certain number of rounds, and whoever has the best score at the end of 3 rounds wins. That's totally up to you. And I just lost my train of thought. So that's the game, Shut the Box. There's other ways you can play that include addition, multiplication. You could even throw in some division if you wanted to, and I'll show you that next. Wardrobe change. So here's the advanced way to play Shut the Box. You are going to treat the dice a little bit differently, but everything else works the same. The setup is the same. You still need 2 dice. You just use them just a tiny bit differently. So when you roll the two numbers, you are going to create a 2-digit number with the two numbers that you rolled. So I have a 5 and a 6, so I can either make the number 56 or 65. And that becomes my number, and I get to choose which of those two numbers, and then I have to come up with a way to make my number using the cards that I have, as many cards as I want to, with as many operations as I want to. So, for example, I could, if I, let's say I'm going to make the number 56, I know that 7 times 8 equals 56, and so I just might choose 7 times 8 and be done. That could be my whole turn. Or I could do 2 times 4 times 7 because I know 2 times 4 is 8 times 7 would get me back to 56. Or I could even do 9 times 6 is 54 plus 2 more is 56. And so you can see this is going to really let your child play around with what they know about their math facts and how they can use uh, a combination of operations. So multiplication, addition, subtraction. I don't necessarily advise trying to do division, but you are welcome to see if that works. I have not been very successful when we've thrown division facts in. But so for me, I'm trying to, just like before, I'm trying to get the 7, 8, and 9 all flipped down because then it gives me the option of using one dice or not. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the 7 times 8. I could even do 7 times 8 times 1 because anything times 1 is itself. So I could even get rid of that 1 right there on my turn. So then I roll again. This time I got a 5 and a 1, so I can either make the number 51 or 15. And so this time I might 15. So I might I was thinking I could do 5 times 4 is 20 and then subtract down to get to 15, but I would have to subtract 5, so that's not going to work. And then I was thinking maybe 3 times 6 is 18 and subtract down, but I still need the 3 to subtract down to 15. So those strategies aren't working for me. Instead, I might just stick with the 3 times 6 is, oh no, I just said I can do that. I'm sorry, 3 times 5 is 15 and stick with that. Or, ooh, I thought of a better one. This is something you'll really want to encourage your kids as they're doing it. Don't just go with their gut, their first response, but play around with what are all my options because I just came up with a better option for me that uses more of my cards. So I could do 9 times 2 is 18 and then subtract the 3 more to get down to 15, which if I can get rid of my higher cards, these are the cards that are worth the most points. So I'm going to do that. 9 times 2 is 18 minus 3 gets me to my 15. And I only have 3 cards left. So that's how the game plays. You keep rolling until you can't flip any more cards over. And then that's the end of your turn for the round. It becomes the other player's turn. And it just goes back and forth until you decide to end the game or a certain number of points are scored. Either of those solutions work. So I hope you enjoy this. I love the advanced way to play this because I think it just really pushes thinking and flexibility and what do you know about numbers and the factors and multiples and all those good skills that are really good practice. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you find some time to play either the basic version or the advanced version of this game and enjoy the rest of your week.